Love and Hip Hop for years, like literally years. And this is supposed to be a feel-good show where, you know, people fight every 5 minutes. Like, I'm not supposed to be crying on Love and Hip Hop, am I? No. But I will say that this was the really first episode that it was like extremely good, and it felt extremely real. So at times I feel like some of the storylines are, you know, made up. And but this time I don't know if this was made up or not, but it feels really real. So the episode opens up with this intervention that they had with Tierra Marie. It was Moniz, it was Nia, it was Lil Fizz, who they're calling Drew. That's probably his real name. There was AD, Moniz's girlfriend, and there was the lady from Intervention. Not Intervention, the one on A&E. There's another intervention that I believe it came on Wii, but this was a real interventionist. And so I was shocked right there because I was like, okay, this feels real. Well, it got even more real when they started talking to her. At first, like most people during, you know, an intervention, she resisted it. She ran out the house. You know, how dare you? They even had the producer one of the producers come out and talk to her. And I was like, okay, this is really real. She was upset. You know, they got her to come back in the house. She was crying. I started crying because, you know, it has to be hard to realize you have a problem, but to realize you have a problem in front of your friends on national television is even worse. So when she came back in the house, she asked that Little Fizz and Nia be gone, and it was just her and her real friends. There was I'm forgetting Nikki Baby, and they just poured her out on the line. But what really got to me, and I'm about to cry when I say this, is that Nikki says that I saw the same things happening to Tierra that was happening to my brother. Now remember, she lost her brother last year to drug addiction. And she said, I didn't want to see that happen. I mean, it was really sad. I mean, in the end, begrudgingly she went. She was like, you know, she gave the list of reasons. I have something to do, I can't go be gone that long. But you know, in the end, she said she would go with, she said she wanted to go with her mother, but her mother wasn't there, so she said she would go. And you know, that was a very brave thing to do in front of millions. I mean, it was just very touching. The whole thing was very touching. Now, am I supposed to be crying on Love and Hip Hop, my feel-good show? No. But am I glad that they put a spotlight on a subject that touches millions of people? Yeah, I am. So that was a pretty good segment. Next, we have the whole Brooke Valentine Marcus storyline. Now remember, she supposedly was running around town with Booby, Keisha Cole's ex, to make Marcus jealous. She took him to some party, and of course it was up to A1. It was his duty, you know, his job to inform Marcus what happened. And so Marcus shows up on Booby and Brooke and says, you know, what's going on, what's all this, that. They started arguing. Booby's there to save the day and calm things down. Okay, so Marcus leaves, and now Booby's left to talk to Brooke to let her know that she shouldn't be taking any disrespect from Marcus, okay, and that he doesn't know what he's got. Now, you know, I don't mean to be mean, okay, but you know, Keisha Cole's very fond of Booby. You know, he was an okay basketball player, you know, he's okay, but you know, I just don't think he's an advice columnist. You know, like, one cheater shouldn't be giving another cheater advice. I mean, I'm just saying, this is how I feel, you know, but I'm a stickler for these kind of things, you know. Maybe I'm just being, you know, stuffy, but anyway, at the end of the scene, these two end up locking lips. So, you know, are you really just doing this to make Marcus jealous? And now you're tonguing each other down. This is a bad look. You know, I'm not feeling Brooke Valentine. I'm just gonna have to say it. I'm just not. You know, she could be a person, a nice person, you know, underneath all the nonsense she's got going on. But, you know, we haven't gotten to those levels yet. So far, surface Brooke, not feeling her. Booby, really not feeling him, you know. I don't see what Keisha saw in him. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's move on. And the final storyline, which is Alexis, Sky, Zell, Hazel E, Lyrica, Mr. Ray, and I think that's it. They all decide that they're going to all sit down and talk, because Masika is the root of all of them not getting along. And so, you know, I went blank. The girl that just had the intervention with Tiara Marie, Moniece, there, I got it, decides that, you know, she's going to try the adult approach, you know, and you got to get Plotter for that. So they all come and sit down. They were Masika first. She was sitting down with Mr. Ray and Zell, and then in comes the, you know, Alexis, Sky, and Lyrica and Hazel E. Okay, so they kind of like bum rushed the show, but this was supposed to be with peaceful intentions. Now, I don't think this is staged. Okay, now I always say, Love and Hip Hop's always staging their fight. Not this time. There is something about Masika that doesn't want anything to do with Alexis Sky. She doesn't want any conversation, even though she stole Alexis' man and had a baby with him. I mean, it's this guilt that's keeping her away from this conversation. What is going on? Why does Masika want to talk to Alexis Sky? So they all come up on her. They say they say Masika. This is Alexis, she says her name, Masika. Masika turns around, sees who it is, gets up, starts cursing, starts heading towards the door. I told you guys I didn't want to film with her. I'm out of here. I don't have time for this. She starts walking outside. Zell decides at the last minute that he had some unfinished business to take care of, so he charges somebody. I don't know if it's Mr. Ray or if it's Moniece, but Moniece's ass end up on the floor, so they're in there fighting. Alexis follows Masika outside, and Masika says her name, Alexis says the name Masika again, very calm, you know, not threatening, and Masika just gets in the car. Like, I don't understand what's going on with Masika's ass. Like, we all know you slept with her man, so that truth is out there. So what is it that you're running from at this point? Hopefully we'll get an explanation, because I'm tired of seeing her run. I mean, it's insane. I mean, every time these two get in the scene together, Masika takes off. Like, next she'll be in some like track shoes and just straight out run down the street. It's crazy. But that's where the episode ended. Still a lot of unanswered questions, just enough so I could come back for next week, and that's where I'll be. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.